January 6 under examination.
I am not allowed to say what's going to happen today.
In prime time. Action on gun control.
There's a mom listening to our testimony, thinking I can't even imagine their pain.
Left in the hands of the Senate. And flag football players in Florida.
Save them. Honestly, just save them.
Involved in a race to rescue. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Amanda Gray.
I'm Michelle Morris. Today is Friday, June 10, 2022.
Live from the South Florida Media Network's Biscayne-based studios in North Miami, this is SFMN Newsbreak.
Looking for justice after January 6, investigators make their argument in prime time. All eyes on Capitol Hill this morning.
As CNN's Isabel Rosales reports, for the first time we are hearing disturbing new details about the violent Capitol riot.
This isn't easy to watch. I want to warn everyone that this video includes violence and strong language.
The Democratic chair of the January 6 committee sending out a grim warning before unveiling never-before-seen evidence of the attack on the nation's Capitol unfolding.
I am not allowed to say what's going to happen today because everyone's just going to have to watch for themselves. But it's going to happen. Something's going to happen.
House members, they're all walking over now through the tunnels.
The committee unveiling chilling evidence alleging that former President Donald Trump agreed with chants that former Vice President Mike Pence should be hanged.
The president responded with this sentiment, quote, "Maybe our supporters have the right idea. Mike Pence, quote, deserves it."
At least 4 Trump aides testified that they told him and his team that he lost re-election.
I made it clear I did not agree with the idea of saying the election was stolen and putting out this stuff, which I told the president was.
How did that affect your perspective about the election when Attorney General Barr made that statement?
It affected my perspective. I respect Attorney General Barr.
Despite making findings public, the committee is pressing that the investigation is still ongoing.
What we make public here will not be the complete set of information we will ultimately disclose.
Reporting from Capitol Hill, I'm Isabel Rosales.
Today in Los Angeles, some of the biggest leaders in Latin America politics gather, but it was the politicians who weren't there that had everyone's attention. Today, the United States is hosting the 9th Summit of Americas in Los Angeles, California. Leaders from the region are focusing on building a sustainable, resilient, and equitable future. Many Latin American leaders are in attendance, but critics are speaking out on the U.S. decision not to invite the leaders from Cuba, Venezuela, and Nicaragua. A congressional delegation is joining in on this final day.
As key senators continue to hold delicate negotiations on a possible gun safety reform deal, some lawmakers hope a bipartisan proposal can be reached in coming days. As CNN's Chris Wynn reports, the House passed a package of bills to curb gun violence that now heads to the Senate, where some fear it will not pass.
I think it will be necessary.
On Capitol Hill, cautious optimism as bipartisan negotiations on gun safety reform continue in the Senate.
I think that we can put together a package that will get more than 10 Republican votes.
Lawmakers have been facing intense pressure to act in the wake of several recent mass shootings in the United States. At least 10 Senate Republicans need a vote with Democrats to clear the 60-vote threshold to break a filibuster and pass legislation.
I think that it is worth seriously considering providing some extra scrutiny for young purchasers, but prohibitions that would be very tough.
While a deal is far from complete, sources say lawmakers are eyeing the 18 to 21 age group in terms of age limits or looking at juvenile criminal records to buy semi-automatic weapons.
I think we need to have background checks to make sure that criminals and folks who are court adjudicated mentally ill, terrorists, I believe they've lost their Second Amendment rights.
This week, some parents who lost their children in Uvalde testified before the House urging Congress to act.
Somewhere out there's a mom listening to our testimony, thinking I can't even imagine their pain, not knowing that our reality will one day be hers, unless we act now.
Senate Democrats holding out hope that their Republican colleagues will join them in taking action. In Washington, I'm Chris Wynn reporting.
2 South Florida brothers are in custody today after police say they stole 22 guns from a firearms dealer. The boys ages 14 and 11 broke the Cape Coral business on Wednesday after trying to cut the building's power. Once they made it inside, investigators say they destroyed display cases and took guns, among others, with ammo and other items.
A former movie star chimp has a new home this morning at a sanctuary near West Palm Beach. Tonka the chimp, who is 38 years old, had been missing and was taken to a facility in Fort Pierce. A Missouri breeder is accused of keeping Tonka in a basement cage for the last year after telling authorities the animal had died. Tonka appeared in the films Buddy and George of the Jungle, among others.
The Marlins trying to head into this weekend's series with a series sweep.
That's still ahead, and so is the story.
Save them. Honestly, just save them.
A flag football team in Florida finds out that being heroes is a full contact sport. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
If you love me enough to tolerate my perfect little pets and all their glorious dander, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere. And just growing up the way I grew up and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
A team in Florida goes from playing flag football to playing heroes. Members of a flag football team are being hailed as heroes this morning after saving a man who nearly drowned in a Florida pond.
It was last Saturday in Jacksonville. A man's car ended up in a pond at the park where the men's play every weekend. Opponents became teammates, all working together to rescue the man. Cell phone video shows Sean Battles and Zach Thomas pulling the driver out of his car.
He didn't want to come out. He had a hold of the steering wheel. So we was just sitting there fighting. I know he didn't want to go. He was telling us to let him go, but we just couldn't let that happen.
A family member of the man said he is expected to fully recover.
The Marlins continue their hot streak as they defeat the Washington Nationals again here at home. The Fish came out swinging and scored 3 runs in the first inning. They continued to dominate the rest of the game, winning 7-4 and finishing a 3-game sweep. The Marlins' next game is tonight, where they will play the Astros in Houston.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Michelle Morris.
I'm Amanda Gray. Get more news anytime at sfmn.fiu.edu.